Hope you guys having a great day. Welcome back to Future Money. So we're trying out different times now, trying to capture as much audience as we can. So we tried 10:30. We'll maybe move it to 12 or 6. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to do some polls, do some test episodes over the next 2 weeks to figure out what the best time to go live is on YouTube. We go live on 9 o'clock Sunday on Instagram. Get a lot of people watching, but we're trying to figure out what the best time for everybody, including people in LA, including people in New York, to come on live on YouTube to make sure everybody gets access to this information. So that's what we're trying to do. So dude said, broke dude here just learning. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, everybody starts out broke. Actually, I think it's better to start out broke because you're able to start from a position where there's no risk and you also got a chip on your shoulder. So it helps you, I think you can use that to your advantage. A lot of times the people who do have money, they come from rich families, they don't have the chip on their shoulder and they also don't have the drive to do anything other than what their parents did. So you can use that to your advantage or you can wallow in it. It's up to you. But I appreciate you being here. So in this episode of Future Money, the future of everything's moving fast. Everything that we talked about over the last few years is starting to come into play. JP Morgan just filed for a full crypto platform. We got trading, payments, stablecoins, everything's happening right now. We had the stablecoin law pass under the U.S. government, which is going to increase regulatory clarity for stablecoins going forward. AMD is starting to take the fight right to NVIDIA with new chips, server racks, big names are backing it. Circle exploded. It's going to $300, but the lockup period does end soon. So we got to talk about if the insiders are cash out. We're going to talk about Palantir, what it's doing with the U.S. government, how it's been doing well over these last few days, months, I'm sorry. But this is how you get your edge, is that you have to pay attention to what's happening around the world. So we probably, like I said, is that we're trying to figure out a good time to go live on YouTube. 10:30, a lot of people in LA are starting to say it's too early for them because in LA it's 7:30. So a lot of them are not even up yet or getting ready for work. So we want to figure out a time where everybody can join, maybe 6 on Wednesdays, and we're going to reduce it to 1 time a week. 2 times we already do, we got strategy Sundays, and then we come on Monday. So that's like really nothing happens over that night. So it really is a repetition of what we talked about the night before. So we're going to, from now on, we're going to do Future Money on Wednesdays only. But we're trying to figure out a time, either 10:30, 12 o'clock. Well, we said 12, 2, your brother's not here, but 12, 2, and 6. So we're trying to figure out right now we're trying out 12 o'clock to see if that maybe does it a little better. But we're just trying to figure out what's happened, how we can provide the best value. That's what I've always been about, is providing the best value to you guys. And that's what I think that we talked about this last night on live, is that I think that a person, anytime you're in any type of opportunity to either get leads, opportunities, or in a position where you can make money. And like I said, I make money off of this. We have the live show in Pittsburgh on the 21st, 22nd we're in Philadelphia, the 23rd we're in Atlanta. Now I make money on live events, and you guys come into here, you see me, and you want to come to the live events. So I do make money other way, different ways throughout this. But anybody that makes money, I think you should always, we're talking to this about the guy who runs this beautiful Evotion Studios here in Clearwater, about you have to provide value first. You have to provide value first. Whether you're a corporation, whether you're an individual, whether you're a consultant, or you're a lawyer, a person that tries to extract as much money as possible out of the people who support them normally fails quickly, right? Because you want a true value exchange across both parties, right? Is that I give you something, you give me something, we're both happy of the result. Now, you can con and trick and extract as much money out of people initially, but that person will grow to resent you, and then they'll leave your tribe or your support group, and then you won't be successful in a lot longer. So that's what I try to do, is I provide value first. The money and everything else comes later. Also, I got my company acquired, for people that don't know, so I'm not like struggling for money, but I just want to make sure that, people understand what my philosophy is, right? So A lot of people asking questions about Palantir. Uh, Palantir has been, we call out at $6. It's already up to, uh, give me that keyboard over there. The wavy one. Yeah, that's it. So I really want to talk about Palantir because I'm getting tired of everybody. Every time I post it, when I first started talking about Palantir, right now it's at 139. For 6 months, it's up 94%. Year to date, it's up 85. In the last year, it's up 439%. 5 years up 14 times. We called it out in November of 2023, and a little bit before that as well. When it was right around 6, a lot of people made a lot of money, life-changing money by that particular play. But now that Palantir is on the public radar, people are talking about it. People made a lot of money. All of a sudden, the naysayers come out and say, did you know that Palantir has missiles and they kill babies and all of this stuff in Palestine or Iran? Yeah, I won't support a company that does bad. All of these things all of a sudden. Palantir has been doing this for years. But secondly, the majority of Palantir's money comes from corporations and selling to companies and organizations. Most of that money doesn't even come from military. Now, the reason why all of a sudden this news is out that Palantir is bad and you should stay away from it and don't buy it is because the hedge funds, the corporations, everybody else is buying it. They don't want you buying it because if you buy it, you'll get the price up too high and they can't get into it at these prices. Palantir is one of those few stocks that over the next 5 to 10 years can go up 10 times still. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to stay away from it. So they trigger you with your emotion points, babies and deaths and murders and people, somebody not being treated right, some kind of humanitarian cause on the other side of the globe. So it'll pull on your, it pulls on your, what do you call it? Your what? Your heartstrings, that's the word. Pulls on your heartstrings so that you act based on that. And then in the behind the scenes, they'll buy it. And then 2 years later, when they tell you what else, the next thing to be mad about, you'll forget that you were even mad about Palantir a year ago because you'll have the next pressure point of the day. You'll be focused on that. So you'll forget that even something happened before. And they've used that opportunity to buy up Palantir cheaply and then later on sell it right back to you in the very same hedge funds that they told you to stay away from. Now, like I said, if you want to judge Palantir based on what they do with the military, then you have to judge Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, every other company that provides information systems to regimes all over the world that do what we consider bad things. Microsoft has an entire department that helps the military of all over the world, not just the U.S., configure their computers, configure their missiles and everything to use Microsoft software to do all of these things. Now, is Microsoft evil? Walmart sends goods over to many of the allied forces all over the world. Now, is Walmart bad? Now, I'm telling you this because every major corporation in the world has some type of connection to war and death and evil, or as we consider evil. So you can't let the media tell you to stay away from this. Remember, all of a sudden it started where all these people, the social media people talking about Palantir, how evil they are, because they want to keep you away from that stock. That's the reason why. Now, Oklo, I'm telling you I'm telling you right now, Oklo is at a meteoric rise. Over the last 2 years, people made a lot of, we caught that out around $4 or $5 too. Now it's up to $40, $50, $60. They're going to tell you that Oklo is bad in the next 6 months. They're going to tell you that Oklo is evil and that what they're doing. And look at this, they're causing radiation and all. They're going to say something to keep you away from it so that they can buy it. They do it all the time. And it's all about money. See, some dudes in there talking about the CEO blatantly calls for genocide. Well, the Starbucks dude said some bad stuff too. Everybody still goes to Starbucks. If you dig deep enough into any CEO, Elon Musk said a bunch of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff. I mean, every CEO has said something, but the thing about it is that they've highlighted what that CEO has said and they told you to be angry about it. Every major CEO has said something that you can consider genocide or something bad. If you highlight it, tell everybody to be mean about it and adjust it and change it so that it fits a certain narrative. Now, that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. You can't boycott Starbucks. You got to boycott everything then. Everything. So every major CEO has said something that was considered bad. All of them have almost. I say 90%. Some of them stay quiet. But everyone has said something crazy. Elon Musk says half racist stuff all the time on his Twitter. But you see, there is no major boycotts, major boycotts against him. But you have to remember is that when they want to come after him, they will. But they just haven't decided to yet. Just a little bit because of his connection with Trump. But Jamie Dimon has said some horrible stuff before. But nobody said because it's not the time yet. They haven't decided they want to keep you away from an investment. So you got to be careful. I'm just telling you is that it will cause you to be emotional, cause you to trigger. And, oh, my God, they're doing what? And you listen to the news, and the news will position that news in a way so that they get you to do what they want you to do, and that's to stay away from a certain investment. That's what it is. Somebody says his stock price has crashed. Crashed is not a term. Okay, let's look at the price. Let's look at the price. You said Tesla has crashed. Let's look at Tesla. But that's another thing you've been tricked by the media again. Let's look at Tesla and see if it's crashed. Year to date is down 14%. That's not a crash. Last year it's up 76%. I mean, that don't seem like a crash to me. 5 years, it's up 400%. I mean, I don't think that's a crash. I mean, year to date, 14%. His stock has crashed. Oh, God, 14%. That's a lot. But the media told you it crashed. You didn't even look at it. I bet you didn't even look at this data. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. But I bet you didn't even look at it. I bet you didn't even look at it. The media told you that it crashed, and you just went with it. It's down 14% year to date. 14%, that's it. For the year, it's up 76%. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's why we need to so they can see it over there too. 5 years is up for almost 400%. That's not a crash. That's not a crash. So there is ongoing Israeli-Iran tensions. It's driving the demand for defense and intelligence tech. Palantir is embedded with Israeli Ministry of Defense using battlefield-grade AI, U.S. government power play. They just secured a $750 billion contract with the U.S. government. Remember, the commercial revenue is up 71% this year in the first quarter of this year, driven by rapid adoption of Palantir's new AI platform. Now, a lot of Palantir's growth, too, is not all military. Most of Palantir's revenue comes from companies and commercial, most of it. Now, a percentage of it comes from the military. Most of it comes from their new AI platform that's helping healthcare, retail, and the semiconductor industry. They've had a lot of explosive growth. Bookings hit $810 million. They got a huge backlog of clients trying to get on. Average top client revenue rose to $70 million. The company had $5.4 billion in cash and debt. AI mega trend that's happening right now is fueling Palantir's growth. We're in the second phase of that with the software phase. So they're one of the biggest drivers of AI software in the industry. They're doing a lot of great things. So just want to keep in mind that Palantir's not like another company is Boeing. Boeing makes airplanes. I think Delta uses Boeing. I think so. I'm not sure, but a lot of the at least half the airlines use Boeing. At least half. Boeing makes planes that kill people. So you shouldn't get on any plane, any kind of airline that uses Boeing. Boeing also makes parts for cruise missiles and stuff. So can't use Boeing. You can't even use them anymore because Boeing does it too. Also, Raytheon here in Tampa, Raytheon is only a military contractor, but Raytheon I can understand because Raytheon's entire revenue, almost all of it, comes from military contracts. Now that's something you may want to use. What do you call it? Conscious investing on and say, well, I don't want to invest in a military contract. I don't want to invest in a company that only provides prisons for people. It's something I don't believe in. I wouldn't invest in it. I would invest in a company a private company that imprisons people for profit. And in some states they allow that, which I don't agree with because I think that it's going to cause some kind of corruption of that system. So that's something I wouldn't invest in. But that's because the company, all of their profit derives from something I don't believe in. Now, if it's something like Palantir, now you can't. That's just smoke and mirrors to get you not to buy Palantir. That's all that is. That's all it is. Because all of their revenue does not come from defense. Only a part of it does. Like every other company, probably every other major company in the world. So, somebody said Nvidia is still a good buy. I still believe it can be. We got 883 people. That's a lot. Maybe we do need to start later. People didn't even know I was going to go live. We got 900 people. That's what I'm saying. I think 10:30 is too early. So, I think it should. What time do you think we should go live? We're thinking about 12, 2, and 6. If you guys could put it in the chat, please. So, same thing I want to talk about. Like, I'm going to keep it short this morning is that JP Morgan has filed for a full-scale digital asset. Somebody talked about Jamie Dimon earlier, and this is something else. Jamie Dimon went around telling everybody for years to stay away from crypto. And now 2 things has happened in the last 3 weeks. Jamie Dimon has instructed his buyers of assets to start buying Bitcoin. Second, JP Morgan just filed for a full-scale digital asset platform called JPMD to create their own crypto and to issue payments and tokens on that system. A serious move by a huge bank to move deeper into crypto. Jamie Dimon, if you listen, his tone is starting to shift. The bank is getting ready for the Bitcoin blockchain crypto future. Everybody said 12. So that's what's happening right now. Is that a lot of people listen to Jamie Dimon over the years, and they stayed away from crypto. First, he said stay away from crypto altogether. Then later on, he started saying stay away from Bitcoin. And now he's starting to change his shift. And I said years ago, I said that we would see Jamie Dimon come around on crypto. I said all of that was just a ploy to keep you away from one of the best investments they saw into the future. That's what I said was happening. Now, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're old to the channel, please give me a like. That helps with the engagement. So if you would like the video, we have, how many likes? We have 1 like, it looks like here, and 900 people in here. So if you guys would like the video, it would help out a lot. How many likes we got? Well, 128. We got 900 people in here. So we need at least a few more likes to make me feel like you guys love me. So, like I said, JP Morgan did file that trademark. A lot of people are saying they're preparing to issue some type of stable coin, especially with the law being passed in the government. Blockchain integration is they're trying to integrate the blockchain. There's also there's rumors out there. It has been confirmed, but somebody that works closely with Bank of America, you can look it up on YouTube. Wish I had that video. Is that he says that? But see what I'm saying? I would like to queue up videos like this too, Jet. See, but that's what I wanted the guy to do. But back to what I was saying is that so now that the U.S. government has made stablecoins basically legal and completely regulatory free, it's going to cause a lot of room for these new companies to come in and start to create stablecoins. Circle's doing extraordinarily well this morning. We called it out in the CNC at $85. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah. Let's see where it's at today. I haven't even looked at it. Like a lot of people write me and stuff where it's 178. So we're way up. Like we got into the CNC, which is a private group. Join the CNC.com. We'll put it in the chat. If you're in the CNC and you got into that play, please drop money bags in the chat if you would do so. So, and that we called out 8590, said there would be a possible 2 to 3 times your money in less than 3 months. And we're basically there now. So, if you were to sell right now, you would have doubled your money in less than a week because it came out the Friday before last. So, yeah, about a week and a half, you would have doubled your money. And people are now into the options, so they're doing extraordinarily well too. So that's what I'm saying about our private group is that it doesn't take you in there every day, like looking around, whatever. All it takes is one play, and we do those all the time. It takes one play to change your life. And once you change your life, you make the money, you have to understand the strategy and structure to keep it going forward. Because you got to remember is that the biggest threat to people is that they will make a bunch of money and they'll lose it. And you could almost anybody that's made a large amount of money has a story where they made a bunch and lost it. And it's because of what I refer to as financial implosion. Emotions take over. You do crazy stuff, lose it all. It happens more often than you think, because sometimes people don't tell you. Like somebody will show you, look, I just turned 1,000 into 500,000 in the stock market. They'll show you the screen, and then they say, no, I'm gonna turn this 500 into 10 million or something. They'll say crazy, They'll end up losing it, but they'll never tell you they lost it. Oh no, man, I took that money and I put it in the trust for my kids. I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to live my regular life. But they didn't tell you that they lost it. Most people lose it because they don't have the structure in place, which we give you in the CNC to grow it, to move forward, and to secure it. Because it's not about making money. Any idiot can throw money in circle because we set it in the CNC, double their money. And then, it's about the ability to keep it going forward. Because anybody could just take a signal, put money in. Oh, I made 10 times my money. But do you have the discipline, the emotional control, and the strategy to keep it going forward? Most people don't without a proper structure. Most people don't. Most people they think that they're geniuses. They think that I'm just going to do this every day. Like I just got into this group. Dude told me, I'm just going to do this every day and make millions of dollars. They end up losing everything. So the Genius Act, like we said, just passed the Senate, could give stablecoins the full legal status. So hopefully that happens. Like CNC is back open. Go to jointhecnc.com and you can join the group. See if I can find it. If you're ready to consistently win, DM the word CNC or go to jointhecnc.com. Join my private community, $97 a month, full access to me and my team. The ones that are already inside are making real money, changing their lives every day. I'm also coming to the city this weekend. We're going to be in Pittsburgh on the 21st, Philadelphia the 22nd, Atlanta on the 23rd. I'm going to put that link here also. It's called Wine. We're going to City Winery. So I don't drink, but you guys can come and enjoy some wine. Let me see. And listen to me talk. That can be secondary. So like I said, these events normally sell out before I get there, especially in the last week. So the seats are limited. Energy will be high. So make sure you're in the room. So last thing I want to talk about, two things. I want to talk about AMD and Circle because Circle's way up. And there's still not, even though the people in the CNC got it $80, there's still opportunity because it's going to 300 with enough time. But we're going to talk about the risk points with Circle on the path to the 300. It may be something that you're not comfortable with, but there is risk points. AMD is starting to do well. Let's see where AMD's at. AMD is one of the ones that I kind of considered a loss because I expected AMD to do a lot better by now than it's already done. So right now, AMD is at 127. 5 days, it's up. Let's say for the month, it's up 11%. And I expected AMD to be almost like an echo play or what they call a sympathy rally after NVIDIA. So I was expecting a lot of money to flow into AMD a year ago. Actually, it didn't happen. AMD kind of stayed around 100. It stayed between 80 and 120 roughly. But now it's seeming to get some type of momentum. The CEO said that she's going to start doing some very, very ambitious, bold moves into the AI race. They unveiled a new server rack design, new generation chips over the last 2 weeks that are aimed squarely at trying to compete directly with NVIDIA. So the market has reacted to that up 10%. They have major tech partners, including Microsoft, Amazon, and they're ready to compete. They should have done this a year ago, but I guess it takes time to change your ship and start competing directly with the biggest company in the world when it comes to what you do. Right now, it's like I said, 127. Uh, so I think that I think that it's AMD's time now. Now, I did say AMD would do better last year, and I consider it a loss. Like I brag a lot about my wins, but I also talk about my losses. Like, and people say, well, you haven't lost yet because it hasn't got to that point yet. But you gotta remember, when you predict a stock movement, it has to be, it's not only about where it's going, because you gotta remember, it's like if I say, I could just pick a random stock, a blue chip, and say it's going to this price. Like, I don't know where Amazon's at. What's Amazon at today? Because it's also about the time period and when it does. You have to hit both of those or it's not a win. Amazon's at 215. Any idiot can tell you it's going to 300 eventually. With inflation, with more people on earth, Amazon expanding, eventually Amazon will be at 300. Now, the question is not about if it's going there, it's when. Will it happen tomorrow? Then it's a good investment. Will it happen in 6 months? Still a good investment. Over a year? Still a good investment. Over 5 years is not a good investment no more. You see, because the time period is very important because of what we call opportunity loss. Now, if I put my money in Amazon and somebody online told me it's going to 300, but they didn't say when, and I wait and wait and wait, and 4 years later it goes up to 300. Then the guy gets online and says, I told you it was going to 300. I'm right. No, you're not right, because first of all, it did exactly what the market did. 10% a year, it gets to 300. 5 years at 10% a year, we get to 3 years, we get to 300. So, and secondly is that I could have used that money for something else that did better. Now, it's not always about what the best one was, but you want to beat the market. You don't want to have your money in something that's going with the market, because you could have just put your money in random stocks. So you want a stock that's going to do it in a timely manner, because time is important, and also go to the target that you think it's going to go. Now, I missed with AMD because over that year, there was other opportunities that maybe somebody didn't put their money in because they listened to AMD. So I consider that a miss still. But going forward, I still think they could do great things. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also like the video if you can. I think GameStop's over. Somebody says, do you think that GameStop will ever have an all-time high? Now, the thing about this is what I don't understand. Nashville event got canceled, Marco. I've made a lot of you a lot of money over the years. And I talked about this last night too, is that I don't see the support. I hardly ever get any super chats, like two. Somebody would come in here and say, hey man, I retired because of you. I don't see any super chat there. Super chat's like $3. I should have like 100 of them. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times if you want, like me, for example, I like bookstores. I like to support the arts. I'm going to the Strat Center, and I go to Strat Center maybe every two months. I need to go and get a membership there because I go so much, and I'm thinking about it. But I go to the Strat Center every 2-3 months. Take my kids sometimes, don't take my kids, take the family, don't take the family, whatever. Because I like to support the arts, because I believe that's important. And I believe everybody should have something in their life that they believe in like that. Now, the artist, and I buy artwork all the time. Some of them might be in like, actually I bought a beautiful piece of art when I was in Argentina 6 months ago, left it in the hotel room, because I will support local artists, because I think that art's important, and I think that a lot of artists are struggling and we need to support them. And then a lot of people will see that artwork and they'll say, well, there was a picture of a cow dressed like in a suit, but I thought it was like, almost like, especially in Argentina, it's magical realism is a concept of art that exists in Latin America. I learned that because I got a degree in Latin American studies. And that was a representation of magical realism. So I really liked that. I studied that, and I really liked a lot of the artwork and a lot of the books that were written under that art, I guess, style. So I bought it and left it in the hotel room. Paid like $300 for it. Now, it was just a little square like this, whatever. I could have went online, printed out, made it in ChatGPT and made a cow in a suit, but it's not the same thing. And I wanted to support the guy because I believe that's important. Now, I think that everybody should have that type of mindset, not on everything, but on some things. Like, you want to support me, keep the super chat, support me. You see what I'm saying? Even though you said, well, I could do it for free, but well, I could have got that picture on ChatGPT, but I want to support this particular man and make sure he was able to continue doing what he does because I think it's important to humanity. I think it's important to humanity to have orchestras and all these other things. I think that a lot of the digital stuff is replacing what we are as humans. And I think that we need to support these things. And especially the creators you like. I remember the creator industry may be thrown away because of AI. So, and it's almost become a type of art form. So you got to support the arts, support people that we think that are, that should be around. That's what I do in my own personal life. And I'm not saying you got to do a super chat. Now, I just think that's important. So to support things in your life that you want to stay around, it's not always about, I don't want to buy this, whatever. It's just a way to support. And I believe that. So last thing I want to talk about, I want to keep this short today. We're just testing out the time slot, 8:15. Make sure you, if you don't give a super chat, just make sure you like the video. I'd appreciate that too. Just go in there and like it and leave a comment. That's good enough for me. So Circle right now, 178, doing extraordinarily well. We dropped it in the CNC at 85.90. When I get to two top, right about now, I'm probably going to sell some of it, at least half, to get my original investment back, and then I'll let the rest ride for the rest of the time. 182 now. It's at 182. So we've made a ridiculous amount of money with that one play in less than about a week and a half. So Circle IPO has turned a lot of heads. Shares have soared 380% total since its debut. As the issue of, they're one of the biggest issues of the United States-based stablecoin, USDC. Circle has positioned itself as the forefront of digital finance. There are a lot of projections out there, including my own, that say it's going to be at $300 soon. But the question is, when and can Circle sustain this momentum? It's up 182. It's up like 400 or 500% total from the beginning. Now, what's going to happen? Now, it's up a lot. Revenue streams, the primary income derives from interest on the United States USDC reserves. A lot of this value is hype. So you got to be careful with hype value because we really want a company that has strong fundamentals. But a lot of the plays we do are based on what we call thematic plays. Thematic plays are when you have an overarching theme like AI, blockchain, marijuana, anything like that, to where these companies will come in and then people get hyped up about a concept. And they'll quantum computers, and the stock will end up being overvalued, right? Which is bad, but it's good for us if we got in before that, because then we could sell at a premium price to the people that come later. That's normal. That's how I trade, right? Is that you take a tech theme normally. That's I stick to tech stocks, and then you predict the trend. Well, this is where we are with technology. This is where we're going to be in 5 years. What's going to happen along that path? Well, like with AI, you have to start with infrastructure. Then you have to build out the software, then you expansion, then you got disillusion. That's how all tech trends tend to form. So then you break down those. I'm gonna actually I gotta do a class on this too in the CNC. And then once you break out that trend, you break down each part of the trend into companies that can provide the trend. That's called a pick and shovel strategy, is that we want to have the companies that supply that trend into the next one. So then we pick the companies under each one of those phases that can do well. We break this down into events too. And then we look at each individual company and we invest in those companies along the path. And that's how we're able to predict so many companies that are doing well. It's pretty easy if you break it down like that. It's not very difficult. But you just have to have, the emotional component, the strategy, and the understanding of it all. But so Jared, thank you for the super chat. AE Tally Construction, I appreciate it, man. Every time I see you in here, you support. And I really appreciate you for that. Really appreciate you. I got to tell you, because every time I see you giving super chats and support on the lives all the time. And I have to say thanks, man. Hope I can repay you one day. In information, I think I have. I think you said that you got life-changing money. I think you have. I think I've talked to you before. So one thing I want to talk about before I go is the biggest risk with Circle. Now, Circle was an IPO. What's an IPO? IPO means initial public offering. That's what. Remember, when a company starts, it starts private. Now, as my company grows, I need to get funding. So the way I get funding is I issue stock, shares of the company, so people can own a part of it. Now, when you're a private company, you can only give shares to people who are friends and family, people you know, people you've met in person, or people that are accredited investors. That means you have to make you have to be worth $1 million at least, or have, I think, 3 years of $200,000 income. You fill out a form, you attest to it, and then you're an accredited investor. Appreciate Posh Picks. Thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that, man. So once you start a company, you're growing, you may only need 50 million. So that's easy to raise from that group of people. As you move forward, you run out of people. There's only so many people worth $1 million. There's only so many people you know personally or can meet personally. So then you make the decision to go public. That means you will have access to the public's funds. You don't have to meet nobody. They don't have to be millionaires. So you have to file for it. The government the SEC has to approve it. You go through this whole thing. You set a valuation and you say, look, stock's ready for the public now. And you're able to raise a bunch of money. And once you sell that stock out to the public, you don't receive any money from that stock ever again. That's why when somebody said buying Palantir stock is supporting Palantir, not 100%, because once they sell it the initial time, they don't get money every time it sells. You're buying it from an individual, and it trades around the market. They only got money off the IPO. Now, the more people that buy the shares, yeah, they still have some stock held back, and that does help the value of the stock and helps the value of the company because they don't give away all their stock like that or sell all their stock. So they go to the public and they say, well, we're going to allow the public to buy shares. So people come in, buy it, price goes way up. Now, a lot of times with these things is that if you wait 6 months, you wait you wait 90 days, you wait 6 months, sometimes even up to a year, there's a steep crash in the price of the stock. Now, the unsavvy investor, the person that's new, will be surprised. I thought Circle was a good company. I thought, why would it crash 85 days after issuance or IPO? Well, there's something called a lockup period in IPOs. A lockup period is a mandatory time frame, 90 to, normally it could be longer, but it has to be less than, more than 90 days. So 90 to 180 days after the IPO, which insiders can start to sell. That's executives, employees, early investors. Now, when a tech company starts, that's why it's important to understand all of this, because some people come into my chats, just give me a stock, just give me a stock. It don't work like that, because you will lose. You have to know how this all works, or you'll buy this stock, wait 90 days and lose it all in it, panic and sell it because you don't know what's happening. So the reason why you want to understand is because you have to know what's happening 90 days from now and make a decision based on understanding what's happening. Now, IPO, before a company goes public, now remember, they sold stock to people to raise funds, but another way they use stock is to entice people. They find a superstar software engineer. They want to pull him from Google. At Google, he makes $400,000, $500,000 a year. Circle can only afford to pay him $250,000. But they tell him, hey, we're going to give you $10 million in stock over 4 years. And that stock is probably going to go up from now. But that's how NVIDIA's 60% of their people are now millionaires because of this process. So we can only pay you $250,000, but we're going to give you $10 million in stock. After 4 or 5 years of working with us, you get to sell that stock if we go public in the future. All right, so the dude comes, works hard, takes less money. His friends from Google are laughing at him. They got their cars, their houses. You were stupid for going there. You should have stayed over here. Then eventually, IPO. His $10 million has now become $30 million. The dude made a life-changing decision. 4 years for $30 million, basically. So now his time to sell is. Now he can't sell because there's a lockup period. So he has 90 days. And the dude he's been underpaid for 5 years. Now, as soon as that 90 days come, he's going to dump all his stock on the market, $30 million worth of stock. And not only he's going to do it, everybody else is too. They're all going to do it. That's what causes the drop off in the stock 90 days after, then 188 days after. And then sometimes it takes months for that stock to get absorbed by the market, people to buy it. Now, the reason why he sells, people say, well, what if it keeps going up? Well, he can't do that because of taxes. Because the government, when you receive stock as income, like he did in that case, it's the same taxation as income, which would be the highest rate, right around 35%. I think 37, 35, whatever. So as soon as you're able to sell, the government says you receive that money. So I don't care if it's in stock, gold, tree trunks, whatever it is, you got $30 million. So we're going to write that down. That's what you owe us, 30% of that, 37%. Now you can make the decision what you're going to do with it. Well, I'm going to keep it. I think it's going to triple. Okay. So end of the year comes. 90 days from now is what? Is October, July, June, July, August, September. Yeah, October. So October comes along and you don't sell. You think it's going to go up. So you hold it. End of the year happens. Now it's locked in. You made 30 million this year. I don't care if it's still in the market. You still made 30 million. Now let's say January, the CEO of Circle gets indicted because, I mean, this is a hypothetical. He gets indicted because of massive fraud. The whole company goes to zero. Now you call the IRS and say, hey man, I don't have any stock left. The company, you saw what happened to the company. The IRS says, we don't care. I don't care what happened in January. We care about what happened in that tax year. In that tax year, you made 30 million. You owe us 9 million of that. Well, what about I lost it all? It doesn't matter. You can write off $3,000 on the next year. And you carry that $3,000 for the rest of your life. That's the most you can ever write off as a loss personally. So you owe us $9 million. We're going to come after it aggressively, or you're going to jail. So the risk of them hold that money is extraordinarily high. So they normally just sell it all, or most of it. That's what I did. So 180 days. Somebody said the lockup period is 180, but I think some are at 90, but it could be 180. So 180 days, they're going to start selling. They have to. And I don't blame them. So the worst stock is Palantir. Palantir is going to go up a lot because of global. It doesn't have to be this specific war, but as we see that tensions are rising all over the world, the governments, the allied forces have to start building up in case. So they're going to start, even if, let's say everything became peace, they still have to expand the operations to include AI. Palantir is going to do either very good or extraordinarily good. Either way, it's going to do good. Somebody asked me in the CNC, we have a private live in there where we go into a lot deeper. A guy asked me, he says, with the conflict in the Middle East, wouldn't it be a smart idea to buy oil stocks because oil prices are going to go up? And I said, yeah, that's true, and you probably will make some money from buying oil stocks, but you'd make more buying Palantir if that happened, because Palantir will go up at a higher rate than the oil stocks. Well, even though the oil stocks are going to go up, you still be better off with Palantir. So that's what I still think. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate you. And let me know in the comments what if you want it at 12, 2, or 6 o'clock every Wednesday. I also put out a poll in the CNC and a poll on my other social media page. We'll try to figure out what's the best time. But I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.